Iggy? Something soft below me. I feel you warm curled up and nestled against my back like an oversized lumber pillow. Iggy. Not in bed, am I? Do you remember my bed being quite this soft or lumpy? Moving my legs against each other with a growing displeasure. Try to turn over before the tendrils of consciousness can fully clean me. Fuck's sake, Iggs, you're gonna get yourself buried in there. I snap open. This isn't my bed. This isn't my room. These certainly aren't my stuffed animals. My hundreds of thousands of stuffed animals? A pile of them have overtaken the entire corner of the room. Almost like someone spilled a gigantic box of them through a hole in the roof. Very, very high hole in the roof. Stare up at the same hole now. Dark and endless and lean who knows how many miles back up that circular gap in a tree. I'm only now remembering falling through. Blinking silence. Till an orange cat head overtakes my view. Finally awake there, Sleeping Beauty. Genzo, the hole, we fell through the hole? Very good, Iggy. We did fall through the hole. Genzo takes my hand even as I'm trying to gesture up at the ceiling in dazed confusion. Pulls me to my feet. And now we're at the bottom of the hole, because that's what happens when you fall down a hole. Pat my head, my cheeks, my waist, sides of my legs. Then we're really... My gaze wanders to the rest of the room. The warm grain of the hardwood floor, to the rounded windows, to the crackling fire, that nearby stove kettle already on the boiler. In all the room stands a small table with 5 even smaller chairs. Half-eaten cookies, cakes, and sweets littered its checkered cloth. Really? Genzo whistles between his teeth. Really? Sound snaps me out of my wonderment. I turn back to Genzo. His index finger is currently massaging his lower lip. I didn't realize at that moment that he's not wearing his sunglasses. Genzo, where? I stop. Genzo has turned to look at me. Actually, at me. Something that hasn't happened in years. My eyes grow so wide, it's a miracle that they don't pop straight out of my skull. Genzo, you... Yeah. Fuck, you asked me what I wanted. I wasn't gonna lie. Not on my top lip. Can't stop staring. Twinge ago tugged somewhere around my diaphragm. Same twinge I selfishly tried to bury deep into the recesses of my chest long ago. Genzo scowls and jerks his head away. Would you fucking stop that? It's not like this is permanent. Yeah, but still. I mean, you're not at all. Oh yeah, I had my obligatory weepy moment. Stared at you all awkward like while you slept as appropriately heartfelt music played in the background. Someone should put the video on YouTube. Would go viral. But fuck that. I'm not gonna let myself get separated from reality. I'm sure as hell not staying down here any longer than we need to. So, this is wrong. All of it. I'm not supposed to be here. I put my gaze away. Tension returning to our quaint surroundings. Nostalgic smell of spice curling up inside my nasal cavity. Can't argue with that. Somehow I don't know. It's like looking behind the curtains at something I'm not supposed to see. Close my eyes, and for just a moment, the empty table in front of me is full. All 5 of us are sitting there, gorging ourselves on cookies and sweets. Chubby fingers reaching for fistfuls of cake, laughing about the wishes we'd made that day, waiting for a new puppy to a spaceship to sail around the moon. I remember the one time I wished I could talk to animals. That had been a treat. Now, however, laughter is gone. All that's left are the deserted crumbles of childish innocence spilled in unreadable patterns across the floor. I will say though, Iggs, turned out exactly how I pictured in my mind. Ginzo puts his hand on his hips. I, like an idiot, that the foliage of sentiment softened the rigid creases of my heart. Oh, how's that? Like a loser. Haha, very funny. Roll my eyes. God damn. Didn't wish to turn into a stodgy old stick in the mud, did ya? Thinks I knew would have taken that sitting down. I bring a hand to my head with a grimace. Hey, you really gotta dig it in, don't you? So I guess I don't know. Feeling a little overwhelmed is all. Guess I can't fault you for that. I keep pinching myself wondering when I'm gonna wake up from this dream. Really is unreal. Oh hey, Mr. Funny Pants. Toss a glance at Ginzo's discovery. Holding up a stuffed purple elephant with buttons for eyes and a pair of yellow striped pants. The trunk sags to one side of its face like a limp, well, one could probably guess. Till Ginzo gives a flick and sends it to the other side. He was always my favourite. Yeah, I wonder why. He had a lot of favourites, if I remember correctly. What can I say? I have a lot of love to give. We should look for books. You really think she's here? Ginzo places Mr. Fancy Pants carefully atop one of the chairs. No? Yes? I don't know. None of this makes any sense. Clearly something was calling us here, otherwise the door wouldn't have been open. You think it all called all of us then? It gives me pause. Think of Gidget, Orlin. Ginzo and I both came. Bucks is indeed already here. Gaze wanders to the window and the world beyond. Lips part. Before any words can form, sounds of footsteps interrupts my thoughts. Heavy, march-like. Again and again, steady and methodical. For a glance at Ginzo, then dash towards the window. Ginzo follows suit. Soon both of us have our fingers on the sill. Now our heads squeezed inside the rounded frame. Eyes seeking out the source of the sound. They come two by two, boots bruising the dirt. Long ears bouncing left, right, left. First two with white armor tipped red. Second two tipped black. And on and on. All with wide shoulders, heavy and iron spears swinging in sync. On the curve of the well-trodden path, kicking up dust with each synchronous step. Are those rabbits? Ginzo's voice is hushed, despite the glass separating us from a small battalion. My insides twist uncomfortably. I think so? I see them in my mind, gangly and awkward, but sweet and doting as they'd watch over us. Patient and curious. With each new treasure we'd shown them, all game we'd wanted to play. They'd been our protectors, our friends. And now their soft brown fur is frazzled and splotchy. Their graceful ears are flopping and torn, ripped and torn. Their kind eyes twisted back and forth in their sockets, twitchy and jumpy. Marched with purpose, red, black, red, black. Till the rabbit in the lead comes to an abrupt halt. Those behind him barely able to stop in time. His ears are standing straight, like lightning rods beating a storm. His nose twitches once, twice, 3 times. Spins around. Right behind him jump into gawkish salutes. Lee Rabbit twists his head left, right. The way he moves is unnatural. So quickly and erratically, it's like watching a TV stutter from one frame to the next. Tufts of frayed fur on his cheek shudder, each head trigger contortion on his neck. Where is he? Where is he? High-pitched squawk rattles the window pane. The other rabbits seem confused. They remain quiet. simply retching their heads back and forth in search of some unknown entity. Another squawk from the lead rabbit, half expert to see past the steam billowing from his crooked ears. Sentry 218, you're overgrown rodents. This prompts an about face on the soldiers in the battalion. Quickly spin to the heels to face a single rabbit at the back, the only one without a partner. The rabbit in question flinches and steps back. Thud, thud, thud. Each impact of the lead rabbit's boots on the hard earth makes the walls of our small cottage shake as he storms to the back of the rank. His next words are screeched less than an inch away from the lone soldier's fidgeting nose. I thought I told you to keep back in line, sentry. Pause. Grabs the other rabbit's ear, half yanking it out of his skull in order to read what looks like some sort of metal tag, fixated to the mangled cartilage. 104. Let's go to the ear, and 104's head jots backwards. So tell me then, where is 218? 104 has his head low, so low his face is half hidden inside the plate of his armor. I don't know, sir. Told me he had to take a pisser. I tried to stop him, but he said it was urgent. He promised he'd be right back. The rabbit jerks forward and grabs 104's spear. He has like crooked antenna protruding from his head, anchors its tip in front of the carrying rabbit. His entire body twitches between each erratic flick. If I let every one of you untrained lagomorphs take a leak whenever you so much as spiritualized your linens, we wouldn't even make it halfway around the kingdom. Do you want to be the one to report to the king our daily patrol was held up on account of you nitwits' urinary incontinence? I think not. I'm sorry, sir. The rabbit face goes red. Next time someone so much as mentions needing to relieve themselves, raise the spear above his head. I want you down on your knees saying, let. The head of the spear descends, clocking 104 right between the ears. Me. Again, right in the same spot. Help. Another jerk upward and another jerk downwards, the time lifting an audible crack from the bone. Stop, sir. But he doesn't stop. Not even after his verbal tirade is over. 104 brings his hands up, but the spear swings past him easily, again and again and again, cracking down the same spot. 104 drops to his knees as the next hit dents his skull inwards. Other rabbits watch on in petrified silence, and out of the corner of my eye I spy Genzo's finger tightening around the windowsill. My own breath has gotten itself caught somewhere around the base of my throat. Crack. Red leaks from 104's forehead, filling his eyes. Crack. Crown of his head dimples, buckles. Crack. Pinkish brain pushes up through the fractured bone as his eyes bulge out from their sockets. Ew. I'm so glad we don't have to have a visual of this. Crack. This time the head of the spear sinks all the way down to his nose, forming a mangled valley in the middle of his head, ejecting blood and brain matter on the sides of his face. Yeah. On the other hand, we're getting a very descriptive explanation of what's happening. Probably shouldn't have eaten before reading this. 104's body shudders, deflates, and collapses on the ground. Sticky goo drips from the head of the spear onto his back. The lead rabbit's shoulders have heaved, gazes upon his handiwork for a moment before running the spear and stabbing the bottom end into the dirt. Yeah, I get the feeling we don't want to mess with this rabbit. Head of it shudders from the impact, sending more red splatters into the ground. Well, towards his battalion. throws back his shoulders. No bathroom breaks! He squawks it with another twitch of his head and shoulders. Yes, sir. The other rabbits pull a stiff about face and snapping forward. Now, march you ingrates! With one last window-rolling screech from their leader, they begin their march anew, boots biting into the dirt in methodical unity. Red, black, red, black. I wait until they're out of sight, down the left path before taking a moment to find my voice. Jesus. Ginzo hisses for both of us. What happened down here? I finally manage. Something that wasn't supposed to, that's for sure. Pull away from the window. Ginzo's eyes are tight. Really going out there then? Must gotta be out there somewhere. Don't know why or how I know, but I just... some part of me knows. Bring a hand to my forehead. Could be trapped, hurt. I don't know, but call us here, Jen. Called us here for a reason. Ginzo wanders back through the window, staring out at the now empty path. Got a real bad fucking feeling about this. It can't be that bad, can it? This was our place. Our own special place. Nothing could ever go wrong. A place just for us. I mean, did you just forget we watched a rabbit get killed and have his brains bashed in? Genzo laughs, but it's not amused laugh. Not like air being squeezed out of his lungs. Turns to look at me. Brows good. Sure. Goddamn. Two of us are standing over the dead body of a century water war. I have a hard time keeping the bile from rising to the back of my throat. Genzo has his cap clenched between his hands. I still remember playing hide and seek with them in the sunflower fields. Genzo grimaces. I mean, you still can. It seems like they're playing sounds like the penalty for being found gonna be a bit steeper now. Oh my eyes. Come on, it's gonna make me sick. Should keep moving anyway. Who knows how many of these guys are out there. Gunley tucks his cap back over his tousled hair. Which way then? Toss a glance in the direction the rabbit battalion was headed. No sign of them now, but even the idea of being in the vicinity makes my stomach gurgle. I turn, instead to study the path from there. Let me try that again. I turn instead to study the path they appeared from. Winds to the right a short ways before curling to the left and disappearing behind an upraised mound of meadow grass. Scarlet leaf trees occupy its either side. I would suggest we don't follow the homicidal rabbits, but that's just me, Ginzo muses. Yeah. Both paths are still empty, and for the life of me, I can't form a clear mental image of what's down either of them. Areas are too scattered and vague. Okay, let's go right, I guess. You can never go wrong with right, I guess. Excellent choice, mon capitaine. As quiet as we walk, no breeze rustles the trees or sends shudders through the grass. No insects buzz from leaf to leaf. Not even the far-off call of a bird breaks the silence. Cool clusters of fiery red corridor us in as the river of dirt directs us left and right like the waters in a canyon. Above us the sky glitters a sunny orange. And on either side, strange flowers of blues, purples and teals dot the grass between the trees. Some of them twisting and curling out the thick trunks of the kaleidoscopic vines. Oh right, I forgot to ask. Genzo's hands are in his pockets. What did you wish for? Oh, girlfriend. Yeah, sure, go with that. I'm not really in the mood to be truthful. Perhaps I'm not willing to admit it to myself. So I try for a joke instead. Hot girlfriend, of course. I glanced around with an over-embellished swish of my arms. Fortunately, the signals must have gone across somewhere, because all I got was you. Genzo's eyes twitches. Let's go upwards in a tight smile. Heh, sucks to be you. Guess even Wonderland has its limits, eh? Guess we're a playful punch in the shoulder. Sure seems so, I shrug. Genzo turns back to the front, his hands returning to his pockets. Eyes look strangely dark. Oh, come on, you're always the one that's joking around about this type of shit. Round another corner, and this time the path opens up into a small clearing. The outcropping of rocks overlooks a small pond at the other end. From its peak flows a miniature waterfall, light reflecting off the steady drizzle. Take a step back towards the pond. I leave for Genzo to grab the back of my shirt. What now? Chloe touched me back behind a nearby tree. Oh, that's why. 2 seconds later, a rabbit soldier appears. No twitching, his eyes searching the ground. Heart leans into my throat at the thought of how close I was to being seen. Stay perfectly still. Genzo's arm clamped around my waist as the two of us watched the rabbit in silence. Looking for something, that much is clear. Wanders to the left and stops. To the right and stops. Twitch, twitch, sniff, sniff. His mangled ears jerk with each change in his direction. Where are you? Glance up at Genzo, just slightly. What's he looking for? Hell if I know, Genzo hisses. Something squeaks. At that moment, a small white mouse rushes out from the brush near the pond. Circles once, twice, tiny tail dusting the ground, dashes off into the trees. There you are. Rabbit takes off. In a flying leap that has me questioning my eyes, he's on top of the mouse, large boot coming down on his tail. Another squeak. Pain this time. Panicking. Well, mouse squirms against the grip of its tail, but its escape is futile. Rabbit raises his foot and brings it down on the mouse's body. Something squelch sends an electric shiver down my spine. Rabbit's jaws twitches. Raises his foot and ascertains the damage. Mouse's flattened body leaks red pus from the bottom of its boot. Mouse's head, which had escaped the direct impact, hangs limp from the remaining sinews like a flabby piece of meat hanging off the end of a sandwich. Again, I really shouldn't have eaten before reading any of this. Ugh. The poor mousey. He absolutely deserved better. Rabbit slams his foot back down, stomping, stomping, stomping until the mouse's body is nothing but a furry hamburger. Genzo's arm tightens around me. Takes a step back, and I move with him, back into the safety of the trees. What we don't anticipate, though, is a slight dip in the ground. Genzo loses his footing, then goes down, taking me with him. Sound of us hitting the ground sends the rabbit's ears skyward, his head jerk in our direction. Who's there? Spears is already at the ready. Shit, shit, shit. Genzo and I scramble to our feet, but the damage has already been done. Rabbit is staring straight at us. Genzo's arm shoots out in front of my chest. Rabbit cocks his head first, then left, then right. His right eye twitches and widens. You're the fellow the king told us to watch out for, chuckles. Lars licks his lips. Then I'll get a promotion for sure if I bring you in. Fresh meat for weeks. No more than that slop. points his spear at us, then charges. Happens before I can process it. 1 second I'm standing behind Genzo, and the next, something jabs my ribs so hard it knocks me back off the breath out of me. I'm weightless, falling, ground rushing. Just before my ass hits the dirt, see Genzo with an elbow stretched in my direction and a foot stretched out in the other. Rabbit, who was less than a second ago had been standing a good 20 feet away, is right next to Genzo. But the point of his spear has missed slicing a red line across Genzo's cheek. Instead, now thrust fruitlessly past him into the open air. Rabbit's head jerks left in surprise, just as his boot hits Genzo's foot. He stumbles forward, unable to stop himself before the tip of his spear crunches into the wood of the nearest tree. It's at that moment I hit the ground. You fucking... Rabbit alternates glaring daggers at Genzo and tugging at the burrowed head of his spear. Genzo, however, wastes no time. Grabs the front of my shirt before I even have the chance to orient myself. Wrenches me to my feet. Run. The doors untold. Two of us go streaking out across the clearing, past the outcropping of rocks, past the pond, towards where the path breaks off to follow the slowly expanding stream. How the hell were you able to do that? Half as my lungs fight for air. Just heard him coming as well. Genzo wipes all the blood dribbling down his cheek. River on our right and growing cliffside on our left. We run. Sound of our footsteps in time with the thudding of our hearts. What do you mean by that fellow the king told us to watch out for? I pant, trying to get my thoughts in order. But before either of us have a chance to answer my riddle of a question, Genzo skids to a halt. Follow suit. Eyes growing 10 times the size of my head. Ground in front of us is no longer, well, ground. Soft, lumpy, and pink. Giant slab of lopping flesh splayed out across the path. And wide. 20-30 feet across. It's a tongue. Ew. It's connected to a large eyeball I've never seen in my entire fucking life. Wait, I remember you. Remember the eye from the other spin-off game. It's round and wet and sitting in the side of the cliff face as though perched atop a throne. At our approach, its oversized pupils swiveling with an almost audible rumble to stare straight at us. What the fuck? Genzo perfectly verbalized my thoughts for me. I don't remember that being there. Take a step back from the slinky pink hunk of flesh, dragged across the path and lapping at the river water on the other side. Couldn't pay me enough money to walk across that thing. Genzo looks about ready to retch. Despite my mutual feelings, I also knew that Rabbit was going to be out on our asses in a matter of minutes, if even that. I quickly scanned our surroundings, looking first at the steep rocks to our left, then to the river on our right. Cliff seems out of the question, but the river isn't too wide, and it doesn't seem to be much of a current. As I'm studying the intricacies of the water patterns, I got a tug on the hem of my shirt. Head snaps down, eyes refocusing themselves just in time to take in the sight of a small creature staring up at me. Hi. Jerk backwards with a cry of surprise. The hell is that thing? Genzo comes behind me just as I am recovered enough to ponder the same question myself. Small, only coming up to my knees, and its head is large, puffy and oblong, and red, bright red, almost like a tomato. It honestly looks exactly like a tomato. Two big black eyes rest above its ginormous shit-eating grin, and its stunted pocket arms waver slightly with each heave of its chest. What do you want, little guy? Papa squat, hoping a decrease in my height will make me appear less of a threat. Wobbles are something incomprehensible. Bagels are cynical like arms off to the right. Turn my gaze in the direction it's pointing to see a neat wooden bridge stretched out across the width of the river. Hey, there's a bridge! Run forest. I swear that wasn't there before. Trying to help us then, aren't you, little dude? I was against the Sentinel, though he has a lot less height to lose. Creature jogged with his arms again with a happy warble. Certainly seems like he wants to help us. Though I can't shake the oddity of the bridge. No way I wouldn't have noticed that when I was surveying our surroundings earlier. Still, our only option is... Turn back to look at the hulking tongue again. Stagnant pool of saliva saturating the dirt in front of it. Ew. That giant gooey eye is still watching us. I clench my hands in my curls with a groan. There you are. Spin around. Oh. I think you see the rabbit at the end of the path, spear pointed right at us. That probably drops into my stomach. Fuck. Genzo takes a step backwards. Now a tiny acquaintance brings its arms up to its mouth in fear. What are you gonna do, Iggs? You already see the rabbit rearing up for a charge. To make a choice. Now. Bridge or tongue? Okay, let's go across the bridge, I guess. No way I'm crossing that tongue, especially when this little guy seems too keen on helping us. I don't know if we should trust him, but go around to face his bulbous head and point empathetically at the bridge. Take us there, quick. Nods in fright, then grabs my hand and begins to run. Two of us jog to keep up, making a beeline for the bridge. By the time we clamber across it, my lungs are burning for air, and sweat is leaking rivers down my forehead and neck. Throw a hurried glance back to check on the rabbit and see him just standing on the other side of the bridge, staring at us. Is he not following us? Oh. Maybe we shouldn't have gone across here. Leaning forward with his hands on his knees as he fights for his breath. I guess not. Look back and forth between the rabbit and our new friend, who's now smiling up at us expectantly. Maybe this is some sort of, I don't know, protected area? Genzo pushes forward with his sleeve and gazes around. Seems sus, but sure. Squat back down to see the small creature, curling her errant lock of hair behind my ears. Thanks for that, little guy. Who knows what the rabbit fella would have done to us? I was appreciating and met with a happy squeak. We're actually trying to find some people we know. Haven't seen any others like us, have you? Creature brings one of the rope-like arms to its mouth, though in thought. It seems to brighten, begins making happy squeaks and pointing further into the woods. Seems like a yes. I stand back up. Maybe the others came through this way too. Genzo's looking off in the direction, thing pointed at one eyebrow raised. Doesn't seem convinced. Can you take us there? Asked the creature with a smile. He nods vehemently, then begins bouncing out towards the trees. Come on, mentioned to Genzo, then follow. Gets darker the further we walk. Trees more closely packed and their leafy canopy has completely overtaken the sky. Chilly too. Run my bare arms as I look around, trying to stay close in step with our guide. Are you sure this guy knows where he's going? Genzo hisses. All I can do is grimace. Simply doesn't seem like someone we'd find the others, but who am I to say, really? Suddenly, our new friend comes to a stop. Looks left, then right. And for the dark gaps between the trees, I spot other dots of red. First 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, and 6. emerged from the shadow like scampering squirrels, all of them looking at our friend, and us in curious wonder. There's more of them? Throw a furtive glance between the approaching creatures. Here on the back of my neck is starting to curl upwards. This was starting to seem like a really bad idea, Eggs. Get the creatures closer towards me as the eyes our new visitors. I'm really hoping that their faces aren't red because of fact that they've eaten a lot of people. It's just the blood of their previous victims. Maybe they're his friends? His friends maybe, but ours? I'm not so sure. Take a step towards our guide, one hand out in what hopes to be a sign of non-aggression. Hey, what's going on? Guide turns around, smiles, then the smile grows. I guess I was right on the money on that one. Might want to leg it out of you. Let's pull apart and a horrifying sharp row of teeth emerges from the middle of its bulbous head. Iggy. Phil gets her hand on my shirt, fingers clamping into the fabric and pulling me back. But now, the other creatures are following suit, all their mouths splitting in two to reveal row after row of teeth. All them smiling as they move closer. Heart drops into my stomach and a twist on my heels. Kunzo, run! I shout as my shoes dig into the dirt. But it's too late. Creatures closest to us hiss, and then they're on us. One flies onto my back, its teeth chopping down on my shoulder. Body aches backwards. My vision flashes bright as pain shoots up and down my arm and spine. Reach for it, fingers desperately trying to curl around one of its tiny limbs to wrench it off. But then another one clamps down on my arm. I see its teeth sink into the flesh and the blood come bubbling up between its lips. Fuck. Throw my arm out, again and again, trying to flick it off. The one on my shoulder bites down even harder, jerks his head back, ripping off a chunk of my skin and muscle. Don't even register the scream that leaves my lips. Pain is everywhere, radiating up and out from my shoulder, sizzling like fire across my arm. Iggy. Hear Gento scream and try to find him through my warped vision. As I step forward, a third creature leaps towards me, hitting me right across the chest and knocking me backwards. Hit the ground hard, my head cracking against the dirt with a sharp thwack. Before I even had the chance to collect myself, the thing on my chest moves. Open its jaws with a wide, toothy grin. Ew. This is very much the opposite of a chest burster. Tears them straight into my chest. Pain is immediate. Clawing, wrenching, tearing. Vision blurs, doubles, twists. Fingers grappling useless at the dirt. Through the haze, I see a rising mass of pink and red. Realize that it's that thing pulling my insides out, draping them across its jaws like a length of juicy sausages. I gasp, choke, wrenching croak pushing past my lips as I feel my skin stretch and rip. The other two creatures have joined it, digging further inside me and tearing off hunks of flesh in great greedy gulpfuls. Stare up at the trees, arms and legs going limp. Vision fading. Just when I wonder how much longer I'm going to stay conscious, one of the creatures appears smack dab in the middle of my vision and bites my face off. Well, got a game over. Well, maybe I shouldn't have trusted the tomato dudes. Eventually you were eaten. But at least the rabbit didn't get you. Oh, would you like to restart from your most recent choice or return to the main menu? Well, let's try this again and not get killed. Okay, well this time we definitely go for the tongue, which is definitely the right choice. Feeling is just too strong. And how disgusting the thought of that tongue is, something somewhere screaming at me not to take the bridge. Damn it, I groaned. To the tongue! To the tongue! What? And then squeaks, his voice rising about 2 octaves. There's no time to explain. Grab his sleeve even when he's throwing the creature a pained look. And dragging towards the heaving pink slab. Climb on top of it just as the sound of racing footsteps fills the air behind us. Fingers and knees sink into the oozing, squishy flesh. Immediately I roll forward to escape the edge of the rabbit. Potential grip, hopping down atop the porous mess. With Genzo safe next to me, I throw a glance back to see the rabbit glaring at us angrily from the solid ground. He is not following us, I muse. Genzo jabs angrily at my chest. Well, his chest. I wouldn't follow us. He has a point. All the more reason for us to get across the thing as quickly as possible. Forced myself shakily to my feet and tried to take a step back. But walking across the gelatinous surface turns out to be akin to walking across a waterbed. Very gooey waterbed, ew. Probably slipping full face first into pink pulp. Lava gushes up through the jiggling pores. Next to me, Genzo is crawling forward on all fours, his face betraying his disgust. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever done in my life. Shakily rose up on my hands, fingers sinking into the tongue's flesh. Bulbous nodules on its surface scrape against my palms. Let's just hope it's not the last thing you ever do in your life. Once and follow him after saliva quickly saturating the knees of my jeans. It's slow going. Not only does the sponge-like surface make it difficult to balance, the slick film of saliva makes it nearly impossible to build up any sort of momentum. Keep my eyes trained forward as I crawl. Try not to look or think, but the viscosity is seeping through my fingernails. It's watching us. Genzo's voice catches. I glance chance a glance on my own to the left. Before the cyclopsic eye is fixed straight on us. I'm moving. Hawkish. I immediately jerk back to the front, shudder zipping down my spine. Just keep moving. Halfway there, halfway across the vast ocean of pink. You just need to keep moving. At this moment that the tongue moves, starts a low rumble, like a foresight preparing an upcoming quake. And the salmon-colored flesh begins to undulate, giving rise to rippling tremors that send our bodies bobbing. Genzo? I crawl towards him, just as a veritable mountain of flesh rises up from the ground, taking us with it. The fuck? Genzo loses his balance and lands with a splat on his back, his hands to his head. Growing hillock takes us up, higher and higher. Dig my knees and fingers into the gooey pink snows, to keep from sliding off and cracking my skull open from the ground far below. The mountain continues to rise, just as I fear. I'm about to lose my grip. It shifts gears, no longer reaching for the sky, but instead rolling like a wave. Upsurge of flesh ripples, crests and surges forward, taking us with it. Lose track of up from down, slipping and sliding across the slick surface. Only once it slows to a stop, my body slides limply down the side of flesh. Do I notice how close we are to that all-seeing eye? Genzo slides down next to me. Don't even have to look at him. I can practically hear his heart thudding away in his chest. Neither one of us makes a sound as the warbling pupil of the eye dilates, focuses, and stares straight through us. I can see tiny twitches of movement, just ever so slight, jumping back and forth between us. I make the soft wet surface of the eye tremble and jump. Quiet. Moisture dribbles down my forehead and cheeks and past my collar to tickle my spine. Quiet. Chance to shudder breath that dances across my lips. Another low rumble. And a sudden shadow overtakes us. I look up just as the tongue's giant tip curls around, stretching towards us like a probing worm. Fiber wet flesh engulfs both of us at the same time. Ew. Presses into our necks, chest and faces. Can you stop with the scorching sound, please? Squirming and wriggling, and wrench my head to the side with a gasp to keep from suffocating. Fuck it. Tasting us. Stop looking at us, we're not that tasty. I swear. Well, God, I hope you haven't been talking to the tomato dudes, cause they would probably say otherwise. Push back into the soggy mound behind me, trying to put whatever space I can between my body and the groping slug-like monstrosity currently sucking at my cheek and throat. Massive globules of sticky saliva drip onto my head, clinging to my curls, drip over my drip over my eyes. I had two thoughts collide there, because I was thinking, man, after this we're definitely going to need a shower after this. Anyway, I can't even see through my glasses any longer. Surprised they're even still on my face at this point. It oozes and crawls up and down my skin, grinding into my hair, sloping at my ear, my chin, my collarbone. And it's only once my entire upper half is dripping with muck that it pulls away, leaving me plastered to the porous surface behind me, looking like I've just been frisked by a slug. Peer over the blurry lenses of my glasses at Genzo, who looks similarly depredated. His cap is half cocked atop his head, scruffy hair forming erratically gelled points. Consider that memory and like someone to permanently purge from my mind. As soon as Genzo's smart retort left his mouth, the giant watery pupil our captain moves. Rolls backwards, pulling a full circle before returning to its previous position. Only this time, spawning thousands and thousands of tiny lines. Oh, you got friends! Well, these are your children. One line's pulse open, revealing another smaller eye, followed by another, then another. Popping open by the hundreds countless dots of white atop the shuddering surface. Then, biggest line of them all, one of the biscuits the entire eye. Well, okay, this wasn't a good choice either. Splits wide open with a giant roar. I think he liked what it tasted. What is it with things wanting to eat us in this world? Genzo screams as the creature shrieks again. Deep throaty howl that has me clutching at my ears. Almost thought he was going to say clutching at my pearls. Kind as the tip of the tongue hasn't killed itself. And now the entire tongue is rising, tilting, forming one monstrous slide of doom that ends straight inside the nightmare's mouth. Scramble into motion. Crawling upward as fast as I can, tending to dig my hands, my fingers, my nails into the tongue's slick surface. The higher the tongue tilts, the further I slip. It's all I can do to keep from tobogganing straight down the chute, like I'm on a slipping sign from hell. Eggy, as his voice grabs my attention. Through my panic, I see him brandishing what appears to be a screwdriver. Never leave the workshop without it. What? But before I can question his motives, he slams the sharp metal end of his trusty bite tool to the quivering flesh of the tongue. Reaction is immediate. Beast howls, so loud it feels as though my heart's twisted into a veritable nothingness. Then the tongue jerks, flails rise in pain. grab onto me. Don't have to be told twice. Launch himself at Genzo and latch onto his waist. Never before have I held onto something so tight. Clasp my fingers into the fabric of his pants and dig my face into his exposed belly. But me, Genzo is clutching desperately at the handle of the screwdriver. Jaw torn and muscles tight. A roar from below, getting really angry now. Tongue bucks thrashes. Wonder if this eye is cousin to the Eye of Cthulhu from Terraria. Definitely sounds like it, and kind of acts like it too, though. Yeah. Each bounce sends us up and down, slamming back into the spongy surface with juicy splats. Take the breath of me and rattle my brain. Somehow I keep my grip on Genzo. And somehow Genzo keeps his grip on the screwdriver. Almost into a whale. The muscles beneath us grew suddenly taut. I opened my eyes for a peek, not even realizing I had them closed. In time for the entire tongue to reel back in one whip-like lash. Chuck itself forward. Genzo and I go flying like rockets in a slingshot. First a few feet over the ground, and slamming into the dirt, rolling. 5 feet, 10 feet, 20. Before finally and unceremoniously slapping it onto the pill-strewn path like a pair of wet fish. Well, we at least survived that. Well, no, we're going to be scarred for life from that. Twin puddles of saliva turn the ground in dark beneath us. Head still spinning, I'm not even sure I'm still conscious at first. Open first one eye, then next. Then with a grin, it's half agony and half disgust. Push myself up on my palms. Thick, clammy strings of goo stretching between my skin and the puddle below. Genzo rolls over, cheeks are painted with glossy drool. Nothing could ever go wrong here, huh, Higgs? Larson hacks another water saliva onto his chest. Well, at least he had his handy-dandy screwdriver. Could have used that against the tomato guy, yes, but guess there were too many of them.